Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here, and as of right now, as of today, Fnatic is finished. This was really crazy because after the first week of the World's group stage, they were coming in with some really high expectations. It looked like that they were on a roll after having played through play-ins. A lot of people have said, hey, playing through play-ins is a buff. You can, get working on the patch. You can play on stage before some of the other teams. You can, build some confidence by actually getting some wins and stuff like that. And during the first week, Fnatic went 2-1. They beat C9, they beat T1. They were tied for first. They were in a great position. I know that LOL Esports had tweeted out that Fnatic had like a 73 or like 73.5% chance, just based on, like all the mathematical scenarios. Obviously, it's not really comparing the strength of teams or anything like that, but just in the mathematical scenarios, like a 73.5% chance to at least get a tiebreaker coming out of this group. But unfortunately, I'm recording this video after C9 and Fnatic have played all their games today. EDG and T1 are actually playing right now, but guess what? We got bigger things to talk about. We don't care. They both got out of the group. Here is the group standings as we look at it right now. T1 and EDG, like I said, they're both 4-1. They're playing right now to see who's going to win this group, who's going to get second. At this time, I don't know who's won yet. I don't know who's won the group. Obviously, you guys are going to be watching this after that. You guys are going to know, be like, oh, I can't believe Faker did this in that game or whatever. No. We're talking about Fnatic. We're talking about C9 later today. And Fnatic ends up going 2-4. I know some people are like, well, at least at the time, some people are like, oh my gosh, it's so EU to have their one loss be to NA, and it's so NA to have their one win against EU and have them stealing the show and taking this whole thing away from them, yada, yada, yada. But really, at the end of the day, even if Fnatic would have beat C9 again, obviously Fnatic would have only been 3-3. C9 would have been 0-6, but still the winner of the winner of T1 and EDG would have been 5-1, the loser would have been 4-2. Even if Fnatic just beat C9, they would not have gotten out of the groups. They would not have gotten any kind of tiebreaker. So this was an absolute disaster for Fnatic coming in after a 2-1 first week to finish 2-4 after a 0-3 day today. I know somebody, I think it was Azale, had tweeted out like, oh, Fnatic, looking like they're in world final form, with the 0-3 today, which was a banger tweet. And there's tons of banger memes today. There's a lot of people who are very sad and upset for Fnatic. There's a lot of people memeing on them. There's a lot of NA fans who are like, oh, hey, you remember all those 0-18 memes? Well, you fuckers are at the same place we are. We're both not going to the quarterfinals, like that type of deal. I don't know. It just really sucks because for Cloud9, they were 0-3. They were pretty much screwed. They had almost no chance. Even if they won a lot of games, even if they looked good today, they pretty much had no chance of getting out. So people had really low expectations for C9. In some ways, it was cool that they even won a game. Then it sucked that they came right back down to earth. But for Fnatic, the expectations were sky high. They were still supposed to make it out of this group, and if they didn't make it out of this group, it was supposed to be in a heartbreaker, losing in a tiebreaker, or at least looking competitive or whatever. And today they largely didn't look competitive. They lost to C9, who up until this point had looked like maybe the worst team in the whole group stage. I don't know, probably between them and 100 Thieves. And that was bad. And then, weren't all that competitive against EDG or T1 either after just beating C9, just beating T1, and then being fairly competitive against EDG last week. And I do think then in a lot of ways, this is kind of a reminder that things can change very fast. The difference between week 1 and week 2, even though it's only a couple days apart these days, can still have drastic differences, and that does scare me a little bit for Rogue, because obviously they're 3-0, and I hope they'll be able to keep up good form, but so far EU is not doing too good in week 2. But it also makes me hopefully a little bit excited for G2 that, hey, they went 1-2 the first week, but we know a lot can change in week 2, and even if you went 1-2, you still have a chance to go 3-0 this week, and if you finish 4-2, you're going to be in a damn good spot and most likely headed to the quarterfinals. I don't think you can even go 4-2 and not make it to the quarterfinals. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but that is what is going on. Obviously, this was a devastating loss to the Fnatic season. And the Fnatic season was crazy overall because they came into the year with super high expectations. The talk of the LEC was all about the Vitality super team, but I was one of the people from the very beginning who said I thought the Fnatic roster was the most talented on paper. They had Upset and Hylissang, who were maybe one of the best bot lanes in the world coming into the year. That they looked like that last year. Humanoid, who was, he had won back-to-back LEC championships. He had gone to MSI, MSI, gone to Worlds, got to Worlds quarterfinals, got to MSI semifinals and lost 3-2 in the semifinals, I believe, against Damwon Kia. Humanoid looked amazing, you know, like one of the best players in the LEC. You had Razork, who was an MVP candidate, and you had Wonder, who is Wonder, you know, one probably the best top laner in LEC history as far as like career-wise, or at least top 2 or 3 or whatever. I would assume he's one, but I don't know. Nobody's really coming to mind off the top of my head. So this team had sky-high expectations, and they were up and down. They were inconsistent. They didn't win a title either split. They didn't make it to MSI. They had to go through the World's play-ins, and they did get out of that. And they had super high highs and low lows. That was their whole season. Their whole season was just marred with inconsistency, just like this World's run was, where they would go 2-1. And then 0-3, and when you're that inconsistent, even when you have the 2-1 week, the 0-3 still makes up for it. And like I said, you can meme on NA, you can meme on Cloud9 all you want, but at the end of the day, Fnatic and Cloud9 are still, pretty much ending this tournament with the same result. You can argue, hey, Fnatic had one more win. You can say Fnatic got third in the group, whatever. They're both headed to the airport right now, and they're both going to be home. You know, maybe Fnatic's going to be home tonight. Maybe Fnatic won't be home till tomorrow morning. Who knows? C9 will be home tonight. Fnatic won't be home till tomorrow morning. I don't know if that's what I said or not, but that is what's going on. Here are some of the tweets, just regarding what the heck was going on with everything. I thought I had a Fnatic tweet pulled up already, but maybe I was just going to look at it. After this loss against EDG, Fnatic have been eliminated from Worlds. It's kind of like their black and white sad picture, whatever. Fnatic just tweeting out, some overall sad stuff. They said, after besting some of the world's best on the grand stage, our 2022 season heartbreakingly ends here. And that's the thing, a lot of people are like, oh, hey, Fnatic, they played their best. They really went toe-to-toe with T1 and EDG. Okay, at the end of the day, you played 4 games against EDG and T1, and you won one of them. You went 1-4 against, or you went 1-3, 1 out of 4 against the East, and then you even went 1-1 against C9. Like, this was not besting the world's best. You won one game against like a really, really good team at Worlds. You lost 3 others. You went 1-1 against C9, like I said, who looked like maybe one of the worst teams in the tournament. So I don't know. I think like what Fnatic did at this tournament is being overstated a little bit. At their best, yes, they looked very, very good. But again, even though they lost close to EDG in week 1, they still lost EDG both times. They still got, beat pretty convincingly by T1 the second time. So I don't know. They went 2-4. Like, let's not, make something out of it that it's not. We're proud of our journey defying odds throughout the LEC and beyond. We couldn't have done it without you. And again, like, did they really defy odds? I mean, they defy odds by like making the playoffs and getting to Worlds and all that stuff. But like, those odds should have been in their favor, like going into the playoffs, and they should have made the playoffs easily. Like, they put themselves in these situations. So your support was the energy that fueled us all the way. We have Dardo saying, we knew the group was hard and there's no shame in losing against EDG or T1. Still had a team to accomplish way more through the year, and that is what really hurts. Yes, they absolutely did have a team to accomplish way more through the year. To not have been able to unleash our real potential, lots to reflect on or to take the right decisions. Thanks to everyone for the support, regardless of our lack of consistency throughout the year. Hopefully, we could make you enjoy and vibe with some of our bangers. We had Upset, tweeting out, that's it for us at Worlds. He's sad, that whole deal. And then Razork also saying, what a day. Sorry. Again, it's crazy that with the week 2 at Worlds, you play all the games in one day. So you literally, Fnatic came into today at 2-1 with a 75% chance of at least getting a tiebreaker. And now, like, 4 or 5 hours later, they're just out. Like, this is, the end of Worlds is so abrupt and crazy, and it all happens so fast. If you have a bad day, not even a bad day, if you have a bad couple of hours, your season is just done. But like I said, Fnatic is finished. They're now heading into the offseason now. There is going to be a lot of questions, not only for Fnatic, like the team of what kind of roster decisions they're going to make, but every player on Fnatic is going to have to make some decisions as well. I do not believe that any member of Fnatic is set to be a free agent, but of course, we know that contracts in esports don't really mean anything. There is going to be decisions about, like Hylissang, he didn't really look all that great throughout a lot of 2022. Could Hylissang potentially retire? Is Fnatic going to want him back? Is he going to want to return to Fnatic? I assume he would want to return, but is Fnatic going to want him back? I assume they would, but will he retire? And will Fnatic maybe want to go a different direction? I don't know. Upset, is he going to want to return to Fnatic, or is he going to want something better? The last 2 years, Fnatic hasn't really been that insane, despite the fact that Upset has been considered one of the better AD carries in the world by some people, and for sure, probably the best AD carry, in the LEC. It's got to be frustrating for him, not necessarily being able to, like, I'm sure, accomplish all the things he wants to accomplish. And does he still want to lane with Hylissang? I don't know. That's a whole nother question, and could upset, maybe look at other teams and other options stuff. I don't know for sure. Humanoid, same thing. I know we've heard in the past that he has maybe wanted to go to North America. You know, it was maybe surprising they ended up on Fnatic in the first place. He was a beast for Fnatic for times at World, but for the LEC season, he wasn't all that insane. I don't know. Again, I assume Fnatic wants to hang on to him, but does he want to stay? What's going on there? I don't know. Razork, he was a guy who got a lot of hate and flack throughout a lot of the season, but he really became a beast throughout some parts of the summer split and through the summer playoffs and into Worlds. I still think he has a very, very bright future ahead of him. And then what's going on with Wunder? You know, does Fnatic want to go younger in the top lane? Do they want to run it back with Wunder? It's really weird because Fnatic's in a weird spot where they didn't win any titles this year. They didn't really get all that close to winning any titles this year. They didn't make it to MSI, and they didn't get out of groups at Worlds. But there's no like clear one person that you're pointing the fingers at. It's not like, oh, hey, this guy was a problem, this guy was the issue. It was just like the whole team never really fully clicked together. The full team as a unit was just kind of inconsistent. So they are going to have a lot of decisions to make, and all the players and the team together are all going to have some decisions to make. So I would love to hear what you guys are thinking. We'll probably do a rebuilding Fnatic video in the future or something like that. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions of who Fnatic should maybe look at replacing or kicking, or what players you think should consider leaving Fnatic and maybe going to look somewhere else, and what players you think Fnatic should maybe look to bring in as well that could help them better into the next year. I know a lot of people are pointing the fingers at Yamato, saying that he is probably the most likely person to be gone and the person that they think should be gone. But even with that, it's like, okay, if you want to kick Yamato, well, who do you bring in? I don't know. That's never necessarily an easy answer either. But I don't know. Pretty much it for this video today, guys. Fnatic and Europe in general, I had high hopes for them. Hopefully this doesn't mean Europe as a whole is screwed. Again, Fnatic was coming in as their 3 seed. But yes, Fnatic comes into this day 3-0. Very, very high hopes. Or not 3-0. Comes into today 2-1 with very, very high hopes to be advancing onto the group stage. And now, after a couple bad games, a couple stomps, and even including a loss to North America, their only win in the tournament so far, Fnatic is finished. Their season is over and is officially the off season for them. We'll have to see what they do in this off season and how the team looks headed into 2023. Again, it's already October 13th. We're already getting kind of late in the year. But like I said, pretty much it was this video today. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then.